In this video, we're going to be celebrating reconciliation by looking at what we can do at a local level at St Catherine's, as well as the possibility of law reform in Parliament.
We think that Reconciliation Week is about encouraging the cultural diversity and individuality of everyone here at St Catherine's.
We think that if we all do our part and share our stories and our heritage, it will bring us all closer together.
Reconciliation for me is a time where Australians can celebrate our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture and understand how much we contribute to the land. Reconciliation encourages everyone to have pride in our culture and allows all Australians to come together.
At St Catherine's, Reconciliation Week is a time to educate students and teachers on the Aboriginal history and what it means to be on Indigenous land.
Reconciliation Week is a week where our First Nations people, meaning Aboriginal and Torres Strait communities, share with all Australians how our song, history, culture and dance can be shared with all to build stronger relationships.
G'day, Andrew Bragg, Liberal Senator for New South Wales. I'm here with my friend Josh Riley. I used to work with Josh at the Business Council of Australia. I wanted to say a big hello to everyone at St Cat's, all the teachers, all the students, and this is about National Reconciliation Week and about working together. And so Josh and I have had a long history working together, so we thought we'd tell you what National Reconciliation Week means for us.
Yeah, thanks Andrew. So as a proud Wiradjuri fella, to me National Reconciliation Week is an opportunity to reflect on reconciliation and what it means to me. And for me it's about how we can realise our nation's potential through growing stronger relationships with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities and cultures. Education is obviously a very important part of reconciliation. It's important to see stronger education outcomes for Indigenous people, but it's also important to be, through the education system, providing the opportunity for everyone to learn about reconciliation and what it means to them. And I think the notion of this year's NRW In This Together captures that beautifully.
So I really wanted to say a big hello to all the Indigenous students at St Cat's. I know that you've got a number from across our state and even beyond New South Wales, quite a few from the South Coast, I believe. So, well done on all your studies. I hope this is a really good year for you. Josh and I, more broadly, will continue talking and working towards constitutional recognition of Indigenous Australians in the Constitution, which is an agenda that our government is pursuing in a bipartisan form. So, I think that's an important reform, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. A key part of reconciliation is recognising our oldest continuing culture and peoples in the grounding document of our nation, and as well as promoting reconciliation involves work around designing voices to ensure that the views of Indigenous people are well represented in decisions that affect Indigenous communities.
Great to see you, mate. Thanks for coming in.
Great to see you too.
Okay.
My name is Jimmy Smith. I'm a Wiradjuri Koori from a Rambi mission outside of the town of Cowra, 6 hours west of Sydney. I'm a cultural educator, a cultural heritage officer at Sydney University. I'm a lecturer at UTS, and I do a bit of work at New South Uni as well. Plus a lot of schools from early childhood through to high school, through TAFE, universities, community and the corporate sector. So my target group is Australia and anybody else who wants to know about Australia. And I'm also here working at St Catherine's for a short period as well. Okay.
How did reconciliation come about?
Reconciliation in Australia? It's a good question how it came about. Probably just as important why it came about, more than how it came about. They got the reconciliation process from South Africa. Gone through some very tumultuous times, and possibly still is. But so is this country. Any colonised country is not a walk in the park for the First Nations people of that country. We all know a lot about communicable diseases at the moment. Well, they brought it to Australia. The colonial brought it to Australia. A year after they were here, down at a beautiful place called Warrane, now known as Circular Quay, they said there was an outbreak of smallpox after 12 months of being here. That smallpox decimated the Eora peoples of the Sydney Basin. Up to 60% were wiped out. A lot of people don't even know this. and that's what puts many holes in the reconciliation process. We need a more honest and more real account of the settlement of Australia. Luckily, St Catherine's, through Rebecca here, has started to come at this process, and that's a great thing, and that takes a lot of courage in this country. So what I do, I teach to bring about change, and Nelson Mandela said it, that education is the most powerful tool that you could utilise for social change, and this is about self-education, looking for what interests you in this country, about this country, what has gone down here, and for you to go and research it. Self-education is probably one of the most powerful forms of education that there is. And I hope that you will all look into your local area, and then you will start to see the bigger picture. When we had Paul Keating in government, he did the Redfern Park address, and he told powerful truths about Australia. It was just the most amazing experience that I've ever seen for a sitting Australian Prime Minister to get up and to say the kind of things that he said, and now it's written in stone in Redfern Park. And if you're ever there, you should look for it, read it. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about what has been created in this process of reconciliation. There are a lot of good non-Indigenous people across Australia who are into reconciliation, who want it to happen, who want to make it work. And for those reasons, they don't quite understand what they're doing is spiritual work on behalf of Australia. It started the way it started, but it's evolved into something bigger. And where the good people in this country want to do the right thing by the country. A lot of them are teachers, by the way, ex-teachers, who either weren't allowed, they weren't awake, they didn't teach the reality of Australia, the settlement of Australia, the way that they should have, because the very fact that we are who we are, we belong to the land, we come from this country. We don't come from Europe, we don't come from anywhere else, we come from here, and in that there's a great love and a spirituality that can only be attempted to be shared with the wider Australian community. There's many good things that reconciliation groups are doing across Sydney. North Shore Reconciliation Group, Campbelltown Reconciliation Group, Wentworthville Reconciliation Group. I've given talks and been to functions with all of these people and heard and listened to what they talk about, and they do some powerful work. If you ever have the opportunity to hook into specifically the Lower North Shore Reconciliation Group. If wonderful people in there, good lady who's the chair, and she will come out and she will tell you stories and teachings that you've never heard before that will just knock your socks off. I do enjoy the process of reconciliation. As I was saying, I meet some fantastic Australians who I would never ever met if it wasn't for reconciliation. But as I said, it's time to move forward, and the next stage is a treaty. Look for good teachers, look for your own education, make sure you go to university, and stand up for everything good, right, true and proper in Australia. And if you're First Nation, do not sit back and let people have a say over your country without you having a say. Okay? What gives you a say is education. Okay? Good education, good teachers, and good university lecturers as well.
We are in this together.